Hey everybody, it's Jen. It's been a little bit since I've filmed anything. I get asked this question a lot about my cats. What are they? What breed are they? How does he feel? So I was going to show you my two cats, and since they're sitting here chilling and they're not being crazy, batshit crazy today, I was going to go ahead and show you how they are and their personalities. So let me just flip this around. So this is Loki. He is a Devon Rex. There are several different breeds of Rexes. The Devon Rex has shorter hair. The Cornish Rex has longer hair. But what kind of separates them is their kind of oval shaped face. It's not like round, it's oval. So see how he's kind of big and stocky, and he's got like a wide head. And then he's got these big round eyes, and he's got this wavy coat here. They nicknamed him the Poodle Cat and the cat monkey in a cat suit. Right, Loki? You a monkey in a cat suit? He's almost 6. And we got him from a breeder here in Arkansas. And his mother had his same coat. His mother's name was Flying Monkey of Oz because of the color of her coat. And when we got Loki, we named him Loki of Oz because that was his mother's maiden name. His father was red. He's kind of like an orangey cat, but same. If you took his dad's color and put it on Loki's body, he'd look just like his dad. And the only thing that he looks like his mom is the color of his coat. He's kind of got the brownish black tints on his face and his feet and his tail. For the most part, he's gray. And he's really kind of a mama's boy, aren't you? Are you a mama's boy? Are you a mama's boy? Yeah. And he's got very little whiskers. They're kind of brittle, so we don't rub his whiskers too much because they'll fall out. And then as you can see, the younger brother here, this is Lex. He's 4. And he is a Sphynx. And we named him Lex Luthor because of his hair, or lack thereof. He does have a little white on his tail and a little bit on his ear, and the little bit on his ear is kind of orangey. And so Lex, we got Lex at 16 weeks, which is not normally ideal, but we'd like to have gotten him at 12 weeks, but his mother's milk dried up too soon. Hey Lex! His mother's milk dried up too soon, and so he was bottle fed for a long time. And so before he didn't learn any of those skills that his mother would have taught him. Oh, you gonna nibble? You gonna nibble? So he's kind of special. He doesn't jump very well. He lacks coordination. He's not very trusting as far as being held. But if you're laying down, he sure does love to cuddle. And when he was younger, he would crawl up under your shirt and poke his little head out. But now that he's gotten big, he really doesn't fit under there, does he? But he's real sweet. And everybody's like, oh, he's ugly, he's ugly. Well, you know what? I don't get on Facebook and talk about your ugly kids on the first day of school, so don't talk about my fur kids in general. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. They're my kids, and I love them. But that's Lex. He's a real sweet temperament. He has to have a bath once a week because of the oils on his skin. And you can kind of see it in his skin folds here. Him and his brother, they like to play. He provokes it. Lex provokes it. But Loki's a little bit stronger and a little bit tougher because he had some brothers and sisters that he grew up with, didn't you, buddy? So he knows how to fight Lex, not so much. He tries, but he doesn't do so well. Hey, Loki. Loki! Got an eye booger. Look at that eye booger. There we go. Yeah, he's real sweet. And he's got these huge feet. I need to trim your claws. Are you a sweet boy? You sweet boy? Oh. Yeah. Maybe I'll get him crying a little bit, but pretty much Loki follows me around all the time, and Lex, he just follows everybody around. But when Christy's here, he is all about Christy. So, and we had another cat, and her name was Willow, and she came from the same breeder as Loki. And they were essentially, I think they had the same dad, but they had different moms. But the breeder just kept saying, oh, she's not ready to come, she's not ready to come, she's got this upper respiratory infection, she's got a lot of drainage in her nose, she's got a lot of drainage in her eyes, she's not ready, she's not ready. When we went and picked up Loki, we realized that the living conditions at his house, which was like an old farmhouse, with a wood-burning stove, was probably not ideal for cats who are very susceptible to the cold. So they all cuddled around this wood-burning stove and were exposed to all this smoke and soot and, who knows what else. So we just got on the phone with him and we were like, listen, I understand that you want to keep her until you know for sure she's ready, but we're like, we have central heat and air. We already have a cat of this same breed. We know how to take care of these cats. Loki had an upper respiratory infection when we got him, and now he's fine. So we were like, can we just come and get her and take her home? And he finally let us come and get her. And so we drove up there and we picked her up. We met him halfway. We picked her up and we brought her home, and she was sick. So we started treating her upper respiratory infection, and then she kind of quit eating very well. She quit eating. She wouldn't gain any weight. Her belly got real big, and we thought she was gaining weight, but it turns out that it was just fluid in her belly. Anyway, it's basically like liver failure for cats. But it's not diagnosed until post-mortem, so it's really hard to diagnose. But we were treating her for that, and she just kept losing weight, and at I think 6 months, she was only like 2 pounds. She was very tiny. She should have been 6 pounds, and she was only 2 pounds. She looked very sickly, and so we tried our hardest to get her quality of life up there. We did the best we could, and we knew that it was all for naught whenever I said, if it were a person, an adult, when do you go to hospice? And I feel like when you can't do your basic human functions. And I feel like one of the basic human functions, or basic cat functions, is to eat and to be able to jump in the litter box and use the litter box. And I was having to feed her every day in the evenings, and I would put her medicine in her food. And I was hand feeding her, like, putting it in her mouth and putting it in her mouth. And I was doing that every day. And then when she missed the litter box, I knew that was it. Like, she tried to jump in the litter box, and we had a small litter box. It had like a 3 or 4 inch lip, and she couldn't even jump in the litter box. And she got her front paws in, but her back paws were hanging off, and she peed in the floor. And I said, it's time. We can't. She's not got any quality of life, you know, anymore. And so we took her in and we had her euthanized. And we were without a cat for a long time. And then we saw Lex, his breeder, posted a picture, and it says, you know, this little boy is 16 weeks. His mother's milk dried up, and we've been bottle feeding him for a long time. And he, you know, he could be ready to go at any time, you know, to a family. And so I made an offer to her, and she accepted. And Christy was at the eye doctor. And I said, hey, you remember seeing that little cat that is being bottle fed, that Sphynx? And she's like, yeah. And I said, we're going to go get him tomorrow. And she's like, really? And I was like, yeah, we're going to go get him. And, you know, Lex has such a good personality, and I feel like, you know, he was just a good substitute for Willow. And he just fits right in. Don't you, buddy? In general, they get along. As most cats, it seems like 90% of cats are loners. Anyway, what do you see, Lex? I hate when cats and dogs like do that. Like they'll look at you and then they'll look off in the distance, and then they'll like take off the other direction, and I'm like, what the heck did you see? What'd you just see? What's over there? Yeah, anyway, cat life, animal life. I do eventually want to get a dog, but in our small apartment, we can't have a dog really, because I'd kind of like to have a medium to large size dog. Nothing huge like a Rottweiler or Mastiff or anything. My first choice, I'd like to have a Cocker Spaniel because I've always wanted a Cocker Spaniel, but I really just want to get like a rescue dog. It doesn't really matter to me. Just somebody who fits our personalities. So, but yeah, these cats right now, at this time, they're good boys. They like to just hang out and chill. They sleep 90% of the time. They're really the perfect roommates. They sleep 90% of the time. Huh? See, Loki's, as he's gotten older, he's grown more hair, but you can see under his neck, he's got really short hair, and he used to be this length all over. So, and Lex. Oh, it's Lex. Oh, he's gonna smell. Oh, he's gonna smell. You want to see the inside of a cat's nose. And it's having trouble autofocusing because there's snot on the lens, on the edge of the lens. So that's a good stopping point right there. I'm gonna go clean my camera lens, and I gotta go do some shopping, so I will catch y'all in the next one.